Hello, Star Wars fans. This is Sam Waller, the Star Wars enthusiast, and today I'll be making a video about my favorite Star Wars: The Clone Wars character. You guessed it, it's Anakin Skywalker's Padawan, Ahsoka Tano, and I will be discussing what I like and dislike about her character in her appearances of Star Wars: The Clone Wars, the movie, TCW, and Star Wars Rebels. I hope you enjoy, and let's get started. Well, my first thoughts of Ahsoka Tano in Star Wars: The Clone Wars movie, the actual idea behind her, I didn't like it because I'm a fan of the Star Wars EU, and Anakin Skywalker always was to me. The Clone Wars was his rite of passage, and I think on the part of the writers of the TCW show, that was a bad mistake, but they made it work with the material that she was given. Ahsoka Tano in the movie was this annoying, brattish, sky-guying noob I've ever seen in the Star Wars universe, and I did not like her character in the movie. I did like her design, thought it was interesting, but she lacked character or development. But that did improve and develop through the 6 seasons of Star Wars: The Clone Wars, the TV animation 3D, the 3D animation TV series, where I'm a 50-50. I do agree with Jem Sarai and the other Versus guys, but my thoughts is TCW had its flaws, but it did have its great moments, and that's my belief of the TCW series. Ahsoka Tano in Series 1 of Star Wars: The Clone Wars didn't have much of a characteristic. She was still using Sky Guy and stuff like that. Was really quite annoying and dumb, in my opinion. But her character, we got insight into character. For instance, she was discovered by Master Plo Koon, and I thought that was really interesting. I thought, why isn't she not Plo Koon's Padawan? It would have made more sense, but yeah, I kind of see where they were going. They were trying to make Anakin Skywalker more of a human being from this bloodthirsty, genocidal, murdering dope. They were trying to appeal to the original Star Wars fans, and I respect that, but it didn't really make sense for his original character in the first place. But I'm not going to go in that territory. Ahsoka in Series 2. Yeah, Ahsoka in Series 2 was much more better and well developed as a character. For instance, her entire characterization was beginning to grow, develop. She was beginning to have characteristics of a true Jedi, and sacrificing herself for the Republic is really a gutsy thing to do. And Ahsoka is not a wimp. She is incredibly brave for one so young of her years. And that, I kind of see as an interesting thing about Ahsoka. Some people think she's just this useless Barbie doll with a lightsaber. She's incredibly powerful for one so young of her age. And that's the one thing you should not underestimate Ahsoka Tano. But also she is naive and foolish and bratty and impulsive like Anakin is. And she's not the wisest person I have ever seen but she had a lot of growth, but she had a lot to learn and a lot to develop. And that will be continued in my analysis of Season 3, Ahsoka Tano. The first half of Series 3 of Star Wars: The Clone Wars, Ahsoka Tano was still the same, a little bit more wiser, less bratty, but she still kept calling Anakin Sky Guy, what was really annoying. But she had a lot more courage and growth and aspects to her character. She was beginning to actually show real signs of character development. In the second half of the series, Ahsoka Tano grows up immensely, becoming more of a wiser and cunning Jedi. Even her naivety was lopsided, and she began to see that not all wars are black and white. She was able to survive on her own without the aid of Anakin Skywalker, Obi-Wan, or Plo Koon, or Rex on Trandosha, where she enlisted the help of Chewbacca and several other Padawans and fought for her life, for her freedom. Ahsoka Tano is incredibly strong, incredibly wise, and she's even more of a better Jedi than I think Anakin Skywalker is. Not more powerful, but more of a Jedi, having more of the Jedi virtues. Even though she is not afraid to jump in heads first like a dingbat and cutting people down, she will defend herself, and she will defend the Jedi Order to the end. More of my analysis of Ahsoka Tano in Series 4. Season 4 of Ahsoka Tano, she picks up where she left off in Series 3, at the end of Series 3. She's becoming more powerful in the Force, she's becoming more wiser, more of a leader, more of a strategist, more of a thinker, even though she is similar to Anakin, the hotheads of the Jedi Order. The ones who jump in headfirst at a moment's notice and just don't think of the consequences of their actions. But there's a lot more to Ahsoka Tano than that. Even though she had a taste of the dark side in the Mortis arc in Series 3, she doesn't go to the dark side of her own will, as so many other Star Wars characters has. She was overwhelmed by the dark side. She didn't submit to it willingly, and that's a strength to her character. She has more of the virtues of the light than Anakin Skywalker. And even though I am biased of why she is Anakin Skywalker's Padawan in the first place, why does he have a Padawan? I do love the character of Ahsoka Tano and what she did for Anakin. They gave him a soul and a character, something he never ever had in the Star Wars movies. Hayden Christensen is not a bad actor, but the things he didn't have the right stuff in this. They gave the right stuff to Matt Lanter, what I really do appreciate. They make him more of a character from a CGI stump what's carried around like Hayden Christensen. Hayden Christensen is a good Anakin Skywalker, people, but he didn't embody the thing. And everyone says, oh, Anakin and Ahsoka shouldn't be together. I understand why you say that, but look at the bright side. They actually made him an actual human being with feelings and emotions, and he actually cares for someone else rather than himself. But he's not Luke, but he's his father. He has to have some aspects of the son to pass down to next generation. And then the fact that Ahsoka Tano and Anakin are kind of equal in the way they are really like brother and sister. Not related in mind, I mean kind of between Padawan and Master. They are really like brother and sister. Like, for instance, Obi-Wan called Anakin his brother, and in Revenge of the Sith, you are my brother, Anakin. You know, that aspect here. And it explains why Anakin Skywalker fell. Because think about what the Jedi Order did to Ahsoka. I think I might turn how they could think about it. They treated my Padawan like crap. I think they could do the same to me, and they do in Revenge of the Sith. That's the reason why the Jedi Order fail, is because they don't realize that their greatest asset is the chosen one in front of them. But that's for my Ahsoka Tano and Anakin Skywalker relationship video in part 2. Ahsoka Tano in Series 5 is pushed through the most horrible, most heartbreaking experience of, I think, most characters in the CCW series has gone through. Ahsoka Tano becomes a leader in the First World. She leads a rebellion and trains the future of the Jedi Order. But however, her Jedi career ended in 20 BBY when she was 17 years old, or 16, depending on the interdiction. Ahsoka Tano's was framed for the bombing and murder of Leto Tormont by her friend Barasofi, and Ahsoka felt the actual portrayal of the Jedi Order was too powerful and too. She left the Jedi Order, saying goodbye to Anakin Skywalker and fading into the twin suns of Coruscant, never to be seen by the Jedi Order or Anakin again, until some more either comic books or novelizations come out explaining what does Ahsoka do in this 15 times map. I don't think she'll just sit on her ass smoking asbestos. She must do something. And that brings me on to Rebels. What does Ahsoka Tano do in Rebels? Well, if you haven't seen the end of Series 1, this is a massive spoiler, so leave the video immediately. Ahsoka Tano has a code name, Fulcrum. Ahsoka Tano is the Fulcrum, one of the founding members of the Rebel Alliance, as well as an ally of Bail Organa of Alderaan, depending on your pronunciation of the actual planet. Ahsoka Tano reveals herself in 15 BBY to the lawful rebels in their greatest hour of need, hopefully giving wisdom and aspiration to to Kanan, Jevis, and Ezra Bridger. The reason why Ahsoka came to help the rebels is because of Edward Bridger's message to the galaxy. Unfortunately, we do not know of Ahsoka's fate, but we can kind of suspect or guess that she will have either the realization as Luke did, as like Anakin Skywalker is Darth Vader and Darth Vader is my master, having no, that's not true, that's an impossible thing. But hopefully we get a good story, and I'll continue my video in part 2. See you later, guys. See you in part 2. Have fun. May the Force be with you. Always.